My wife texted, "I'm filing for divorce and telling the judge you've been unstable. I'm getting the house." I replied, "I understand your strategy." Then I emailed her lawyer the 200 pages of her psychiatrist's notes she'd left on our printer. Her lawyer's frantic, "We need to settle" call. I, 37 male, got the text last Thursday at 2 p.m. Was in the middle of quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. Amber, 35. "Just so you know, I'm filing for divorce Monday. My lawyer says we should claim you've been emotionally unstable and verbally aggressive. Makes the custody and assets split easier. I'm getting the house. Don't bother fighting it." Stared at the screen for a solid minute. 7 years of marriage and she's texting me her legal strategy like she's ordering takeout. The casual cruelty of it was almost impressive. Me? "I understand your strategy." That's all I sent back. No anger, no begging, no "how could you?" Just acknowledgement. See, here's the thing about Amber. She's always been overconfident. Thinks she's the smartest person in any room. That confidence makes her sloppy. Case in point. 3 days earlier, I'd come home to find our home office printer still warm. It had been running for a while, judging by the heat. There was a stack of papers on the tray, about 200 pages, still warm. I almost just filed them away without looking. Almost, but the header on the first page caught my eye. Patient, Amber Rodriguez. Therapist, Dr. Helena Westbrook, PsyD. Session notes. Detailed psychiatric evaluations. 2 years worth of weekly appointments I didn't even know she was attending. Now I'm not proud of reading them. Invasion of privacy, I get it. But she'd left them on our shared printer, in our shared home office. And after that text about claiming I was unstable, I'm glad I did. The notes were revealing. Documented anxiety disorder, depression, paranoid episodes, multiple sessions about her irrational anger toward spouse, and difficulty maintaining emotional regulation. One note from 6 months ago. Patient admits to fabricating stories about husband's behavior to friends, family, to gain sympathy and support for potential separation. Another from 3 months ago. Patient discussed plan to portray husband as unstable in potential divorce proceedings despite acknowledging he has never been aggressive or emotionally abusive toward her. She'd literally told her therapist she was planning to lie about me in divorce court. And the therapist had documented it. I took photos of every single page with my phone. Then I carefully put the papers back in a drawer in her desk where she'd apparently meant to file them. That was Tuesday. Her text came Thursday. By Friday morning, I had an attorney. Met with Gregory Finch Friday afternoon. Brought my phone with all the photos. He's mid-50s, been doing family law for 20 years, comes highly recommended. "So your wife is threatening to claim you're unstable," Gregory said, scrolling through the photos on my phone. "But she's left documented evidence that she's planning to lie about you, has actual diagnosed mental health issues, and has paranoid tendencies. That's about the size of it." "Did you remove these documents from the house?" "No. Took photos, left the originals exactly where she put them." "Good. That's very good." He leaned back in his chair. "Here's what's gonna happen. She'll file Monday, probably. Her lawyer will submit an initial petition painting you as an unfit parent, emotionally volatile, maybe dangerous. They'll request primary custody of your daughter and the house. We have one kid. Zoe, age 5. Smart as hell, looks like her mom, acts like me." The thought of Amber using her as a weapon made my stomach turn. What do? We wait for them to commit. Let them file their claims under oath. Then we respond with evidence that she's been planning to perjure herself. The court does not look kindly on false allegations in custody cases. Won't I need the original documents? Eventually, yes, but first, we need her to go on record with her false claims. Then we file our response with your evidence. At that point, I guarantee her attorney will try to withdraw from the case or push for immediate settlement. Why would her lawyer try to withdraw? Gregory smiled. It wasn't friendly. Because knowingly presenting false testimony is a great way to get disbarred. Once we show him evidence that his client planned to lie under oath, he'll distance himself fast. Made sense. What do I do until Monday? Act normal. Don't let her know you're prepared. Don't engage if she tries to provoke you. Document everything. Texts, calls, interactions. And whatever you do, don't leave the house. If she gets you to move out before the filing, she can claim abandonment. Spent the weekend being a ghost in my own house. Amber was cold, barely spoke to me. Zoe asked why mommy was being weird. I told her grown-ups sometimes need space to think. Sunday night, Amber tried to start a fight. Came into the living room while I was watching TV. You're really not going to say anything? Not going to try to work this out? You texted me your legal strategy, Amber. What's there to work out? So that's it? 7 years and you just give up? The irony was impressive. You gave up when you started planning to lie about me in court. Her face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure you don't. I'll see you at the hearing. She stormed off. Heard her on the phone in the bedroom, angry whispers. Probably to her lawyer or her sister Meredith, who's been feeding her entitled nonsense for years. Monday came. Amber left early with Zoe for school drop-off. I worked from home, waited for the inevitable. The email from her attorney came at 11 a.m. Derek Paulson, Esquire. Generic but aggressive cover letter, petition attached. Read exactly like Gregory predicted. I was emotionally unstable, verbally aggressive, created an unsafe environment. She wanted primary custody, supervised visitation for me, and exclusive use of our house. The house is mine, by the way. Bought it 2 years before we met. My name on the deed. She's not on the title, never contributed to the mortgage, but apparently her lawyer thought they could swing it anyway. Forwarded everything to Gregory. He called within 10 minutes. This is even better than I hoped. She's made specific claims about your behavior that we can directly refute with her own psychiatric records. Send me those photos now. All of them? Every single page. Spent the next hour uploading 200 photos to a secure file share. Gregory called back around 1 p.m. I'm preparing our response now. We'll file tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm going to email Mr. Paulson with a preview of what's coming. A preview? Just enough to make him panic. Want to give him a chance to talk sense into his client before this gets uglier. Gregory's email went out at 3 p.m. I wasn't copied on it, but he told me the gist. We have documented evidence that your client has been planning to present false testimony regarding my client's mental state and behavior. Said evidence includes your client's own psychiatric records, describing her plan to make these false claims. We strongly suggest you review your client's statements before proceeding. The response came in 90 minutes. Not from Derek Paulson. From Amber herself texting me. What the hell did your lawyer send to mine? Derek is freaking out and won't tell me why. What did you do? Nothing yet. Just letting your lawyer know we have evidence. Evidence of what? Your psychiatric records. The ones you printed on Tuesday and left in the office. The ones where you told Dr. Westbrook you were planning to lie about me in court. Nothing. For 5 minutes. Amber, you went through my private medical records? You left them on our printer, in our shared office. Did you forget? That's illegal. You can't use those. Actually, documents found in a shared marital residence are discoverable. Gregory checked. But hey, your lawyer can explain it to you. This is insane. You're being insane right now. The projection was almost funny. Me, I'm being factual. You plan to lie under oath. Your therapist documented it. Now your lawyer knows. See you in court. Blocked her number after that. Gregory said not to engage further, and I was happy to comply. Update 1, 3 days later. The fallout came faster than expected. Tuesday morning, Gregory filed our response. It was brutal. Point-by-point refutation of every claim Amber made, supported by her own psychiatric records. We included excerpts, the parts where she admitted to fabricating stories, the part where she discussed her strategy to paint me as unstable. We also included character references from my employer, our daughter's preschool teacher, and 3 of our neighbors, all attesting to my stability, involvement in Zoe's life, and general decent human being status. By Tuesday afternoon, Derek Paulson sent Gregory an email requesting an emergency conference call. Gregory called me first. Her lawyer wants to settle immediately. That was fast. He's in panic mode. Once I showed him the full extent of records, he realized his client lied to him. He's trying to minimize damage to his own reputation. What's Amber saying? According to Derek, she's claiming you stole her medical records and we can't use them. He informed her that's not how it works. Documents left in a shared space are fair game, especially when they're directly relevant to claims made in the case. So what now? We wait for their offer. But don't expect anything reasonable. She still thinks she has leverage. The offer came Wednesday morning, via Derek, not directly from Amber. She wanted 50-50 custody. She keeps the house, which again is solely in my name. I pay her $3,000 a month in spousal support for 5 years, and we split all other assets evenly. Gregory laughed when he read it to me. She's delusional. You own the house outright. She has no claim to it. She works full-time making $65 a year. You make $120K. The spousal support calculation in this state would be maybe $1,500 per month for 3 years maximum, and that's being generous to her. What do we counter with? The truth. 50-50 custody is fine. You want a co-parent anyway. But she doesn't get the house. Spousal support is $1,000 a month for 2 years maximum, and we're splitting only the actual marital assets, which is basically just the stuff we bought together during the marriage. Send it. While the lawyers negotiated, Amber's family started their campaign. Her sister Meredith showed up at my office Thursday afternoon. Security called me down to the lobby. You need to drop this, Meredith said without preamble. You're humiliating her. She tried to lie about me in court. She humiliated herself. She's struggling. She has anxiety, depression, you know this, and you're using it against her like some kind of monster. I'm using the fact that she planned to commit perjury against her. Big difference. You violated her privacy. She left 200 pages of documents on a shared printer. That's not violation, that's carelessness. Meredith's face went red. The judge is going to see you for what you are. A manipulative, controlling. The judge is going to see documented evidence that your sister planned to lie under oath. That's what the judge will see. Security escorted her out after she started yelling about men like me. Fun times. That night, Amber tried a different tactic. She brought Zoe home from daycare and immediately started crying in front of our daughter. Mommy's sad because Daddy is being mean, she said, loud enough for me to hear from the kitchen. I walked into the living room. Zoe, honey, can you go play in your room for a few minutes? Mommy and I need to talk. Once Zoe was gone, I turned to Amber. Don't put our daughter in the middle of this. I'm not putting her anywhere. I'm upset, and she's asking why. You're manipulating her. Stop. You're the one who... I'm the one who has evidence you plan to lie in court. That's all this is. You made choices, now you're dealing with them. But Zoe doesn't need to be part of your drama. She tried to argue, but I walked away. Went upstairs, called Gregory, told him about the incident. He said to document it. Time, date, what was said. Said it might be relevant if custody became contentious. Friday brought a new development. Derek Paulson requested another call. This time he wanted both of us on the line. Him, Gregory, me, and Amber. My client wants to address the situation directly, Derek said. Gregory muted our side. This is unusual, but it might move things along. You comfortable? Yeah. He unmuted. We're here. Amber's voice came through, tight and angry. I want you to destroy those records. No, I said. They're private. You have no right. You left them where I could find them. That's on you. Derek says they're not even admissible. Gregory cut in. That's not accurate. Your own attorney has acknowledged that documents found in a shared marital residence are discoverable, particularly when they directly refute claims made in legal filings. Silence on their end. Then Derek spoke. Look, we can keep fighting this, but it's going to get expensive for both parties. My client is willing to withdraw her initial claims about your mental state and behavior if you agree not to introduce the psychiatric records in court. Counteroffer? Gregory said smoothly. Your client withdraws all false claims, pays my client's legal fees incurred so far. That's $4,500. And we settle on the following terms. 50-50 custody. My client retains the house as his separate property. Spousal support is $800 a month for 18 months, and we split the actual marital assets 50-50. That's not acceptable, Derek started. Then we see you in court, Gregory interrupted, where we will absolutely introduce every page of those records, and where my client will file a separate complaint about your client's attempted perjury. Your call. The line went quiet. I could hear muffled arguing on their end. After about 2 minutes, Derek came back. We need to discuss with our client. We'll respond Monday. They hung up. Gregory sounded satisfied. They'll take it. Derek knows he screwed up taking her case without doing due diligence. He wants out clean. What if they don't? Then we go to trial, and they lose badly, but they'll take it, trust me. Update 2. The settlement Monday came with radio silence. No call, no email. By Tuesday afternoon, I was getting anxious. Then Wednesday morning, Derek Paulson sent a new proposal. They'd accept our terms with modifications. 1,000-month spousal support for 18 months instead of $800. She doesn't pay my legal fees, and I give her the Subaru, which is in my name but she drives. Gregory called me. This is basically a yes with them trying to save face. The car is worth maybe $15. You'll spend more than that if we go to trial. My fees alone would eat that up. Your call, but I'd recommend accepting. Take it. I'm done with this. Smart. I'll draft the settlement agreement. Papers were signed Friday. Divorce would be final in 90 days per state law. Custody arrangement started immediately. Week on, week off with Zoe. Amber moved out the following Monday. Her parents came with a U-Haul. Her mom, Diana, tried to start something with me on the porch. You should be ashamed. Using a woman's mental health issues against her. I used documented evidence that she planned to lie under oath. If she's ashamed, that's her conscience, not me. She needed that house. She has nowhere to go. She has a full-time job and family willing to help her. She'll be fine. Diana called me a few more names, but her husband, Amber's dad, Glenn, pulled her away. Diana, leave it. Let's just get her moved. Glenn caught my eye and gave me a small nod, almost like an apology. Interesting. The next few weeks were adjustment period. Zoe struggled a bit with the new schedule, lots of questions about why mommy and daddy weren't living together. We kept it simple. Sometimes grown-ups are better as friends than married. Amber, meanwhile, was spinning a narrative to anyone who'd listen. According to mutual friends, I was abusive, had stolen her medical records, and used her mental illness against her. Some people bought it. Lost a few acquaintances who didn't bother asking my side. But most people saw through it, especially when Gregory sent a carefully worded letter to a few key parties, not disclosing the records, just noting that all claims made by Ms. Rodriguez regarding Mr. Garrett's behavior have been withdrawn and were found to be without merit. The real consequences came from an unexpected direction. 3 weeks post-settlement, I got a call from Dr. Helena Westbrook's office. The office manager, not the doctor herself. Mr. Garrett, I'm calling regarding the documents that were submitted in your divorce case. Oh crap. Yes? Dr. Westbrook has reviewed the situation and needs to inform you that she's filing a complaint with the state medical board. Against me? No, sir. Against herself. Wait, what? The office manager explained. Dr. Westbrook had realized upon reviewing the records that came up in court that she'd failed to adequately address Amber's stated plan to commit perjury. As a mandatory reporter in certain situations, she should have documented her concerns more carefully or potentially refused to continue treatment. She's being proactive about this, the manager said. But she wanted you to know that Ms. Rodriguez is no longer her patient. She terminated the therapeutic relationship last week. Amber lost her therapist because of her own actions. The irony wasn't lost on me, but the hits kept coming for Amber. Her workplace got involved next. Amber works in HR for a mid-sized company. Apparently, she'd been telling coworkers about her abusive ex-husband and how she'd barely escaped. One of her coworkers knew me professionally, small world, and asked if I was okay. I kept it brief. The divorce is finalized. All of her claims about my behavior were withdrawn. We have equal custody. That's all I can say. Word got back to her employer's leadership. They started asking questions about why their HR manager was making domestic violence allegations that apparently weren't true. Created liability concerns for the company. Amber got a formal reprimand for discussing personal matters inappropriately at work, and was told any further incidents would result in termination. Heard about this through the grapevine. Apparently, she ranted about it during a pickup exchange. Meredith was there and said loud enough for me to hear, "They're all against you. This is discrimination." I didn't respond. Just got Zoe and left. The final piece of consequence came from an unexpected source, Glenn, Amber's dad. He called me one evening about 6 weeks after the settlement. Awkward opening pleasantries then. "I want to apologize for my daughter's behavior." "You don't need to do that, Glenn." "I do. Diana and we didn't raise her to lie like that. We didn't know what she was planning to do until Diana read the settlement papers. I'm sorry. Didn't know what to say to that. I appreciate you calling. Amber's always been dramatic. Gets it from her mother if I'm honest, but this crossed a line. She put Zoe in the middle of her mess and that's not okay. Zoe's doing all right, we're managing. That's because you're a good dad, no Matt, don't let anyone tell you different. We talked for a few more minutes. He asked about Zoe, I filled him in. He said he and Diana would like to see their granddaughter regularly, regardless of whose custody week it was. I agreed. Grandparents are important. Before we hung up, Glenn said, you did the right thing, standing up for yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Needed to hear that more than I realized. Update 3. 6 months later. It's been half a year since the divorce finalized. Life's found a rhythm. Zoe adjusted better than expected. She's thriving with the schedule, week with me, week with Amber. Her teacher says she's doing great in kindergarten. Still asks occasional questions about why we're not together, but she's accepted the new normal. Amber and I have a functional co-parenting relationship. Barely. We communicate via a parenting app that timestamps everything. She's tried a few times to renegotiate the custody arrangement, claiming she should have more time. I've declined, reminded her we have a court order, and suggested she file a modification if she feels that strongly. She hasn't filed anything. Too expensive, probably. The spousal support payments end in 12 months. Can't wait. She's complained several times that $1,000 a month isn't enough. I've reminded her she agreed to it. Her housing situation's stabilized. She's renting a small house with help from her parents. Diana's still cold to me, but Glenn comes to Zoe's school events and is cordial. We've had coffee twice while waiting for parent-teacher conferences. The social fallout continues in small ways. Some mutual friends chose sides, most chose mine once they understood what actually happened. Amber tried to organize a support group for people going through divorces, which seemed like an excuse to bash me to a new audience. It fell apart when someone asked why all her claims against me were withdrawn. She's dating now. Guy named Teeth, apparently. Met him through some app. Good for her, honestly. Maybe having someone else in her life will reduce the residual anger. On my end, I'm in therapy. Turns out going through someone trying to destroy your reputation does a number on you. Who knew? The therapist specializes in family law trauma. Helpful to process the experience with someone neutral. Started dating casually a few months ago. Nothing serious, just getting back out there. Weird after 7 years of marriage, but not terrible. The house feels different now. Redecorated, got rid of stuff that reminded me of Amber, made it more mine and Zoe's. Her room has her art all over the walls. My space feels lighter. Work's been good. Got a promotion, actually. Timing was weird. Right in the middle of the divorce chaos. But the distraction helped. Making $145 now, which is fortunate because legal fees weren't cheap even with the settlement. The psychiatric records are stored securely with Gregory's office. We never had to introduce them in court, thank God. But they exist as insurance. Gregory says to keep them for at least 5 years in case Amber tries to refile or modify custody with new false claims. Meredith sent me a Facebook message last month. Long rant about how I ruined her sister's life and destroyed her mental health by weaponizing her therapy records. I didn't respond. Gregory advised against engaging, and he's right. The message did make me think, though. Some people will always see me as the villain in this story. That's fine. I know what happened. I know I defended myself against false allegations using evidence Amber herself created through her own carelessness and dishonesty. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Did it cost me? Yeah. Emotionally, financially, socially. Lost some relationships, gained stress and trust issues, spent $12,000 on legal fees even with the settlement. But the alternative was letting her lie about me under oath, potentially losing custody of my daughter, and setting a precedent that false allegations are consequence-free. So, no regrets. Just relief that it's over. Zoe asked me the other day if I was happy. We were making pancakes on a Saturday morning, her week with me. Yeah, kiddo, I am. Are you? Yeah, I like our house, and I like Mommy's house too. That's good, you should like both. Do you and Mommy like each other? Loaded question from a 6-year-old. We care about each other because we both love you, but we're better living separately. She thought about that while pouring chocolate chips into her pancake. Okay, can I have extra chocolate chips? Sure. That's good enough for me. Zoe's okay, I'm okay, and the truth won. Amber's learning to live with the consequences of trying to game the system. Her reputation took a hit, she lost her therapist, got reprimanded at work, and ended up with less in the settlement than she would have gotten if she'd been honest from the start. All because she left 200 pages of evidence on a printer and texted me her strategy like I was too stupid to do anything about it. The entitlement of it still amazes me. She genuinely believed she could lie, manipulate, and scheme her way to winning. Believed I'd just roll over and accept whatever she claimed. She was wrong. And that's the end of it. Moving forward now, better days ahead. Zoe's asking if we can get a dog. Might be time for that. Fresh start, new chapter, all that. Life goes on.